Welcome to this week's Elevate Business Briefing. Now, the goal for this class is simple to help you determine if people are compelled to hire you, and most importantly, to refer you. Then, after the class, you can decide what steps you may want to take, if any, to improve your business. Here's the great news: building a high performing real estate business is a lot easier than you think, and it's a lot easier than you're probably making it. Now, if you've ever looked in the mirror and wondered if you should be further ahead by now, trust me, you're not alone. This class can change your results over. Imagine this: just flip a switch and your business could improve in one day. Now, how do I know that? Because this is how I ran a multi-million dollar real estate and mortgage practice utilizing the strategy that I'm going to teach you in this class today. I'm going to share with you how I've made millions of dollars in fees from closings by offering the most powerful client benefit in the industry, and I have zero competition. At the end, if you think it might work well in your business too, there's several different options on how we may be able to assist you. But I'll let you be the judge and decide your next step, if any. Fair enough? The question is, why should somebody hire you? Real estate is a simple business. All you have to do is determine is why someone should work with you and you only. Not some relative who will rebate their commission, not a discount broker or a mega team or a neighborhood specialist. You're in 100% control of your business. You're the CEO, so it's your decision. Now, if you decide what I share with you today is important to your business, then I'll give you a three-step marketing formula to follow. Here's why being able to answer why you is so critical. Imagine you're at a party or on an elevator and someone asks what you do. What do you typically say? Typically, it's something like this: I'm a real estate agent, or I'm in the real estate business. Not real inspiring or compelling, is it? And let's be honest here, team. The public's perception of real estate agents right now is at an all time low. So you must create a more compelling answer that would elicit this response. Wow, how do you do that? If it helps, let me share my answer with you. So here's my answer. Let me know if this gets your attention. Using your primary residence, I help my clients fund $1 million retirement account with money that they would have paid to their bank. Ask yourself this, folks: how can anyone not ask or respond, wow, how do you do that? It's almost impossible, isn't it? Now, when they ask how you do that, here's what I say. What I do for people that buy, sell, and finance real estate through our team is help them pay off their homes in 7 to 10 years, saving hundreds of thousands of dollars in payments and interest. And most importantly, turn those savings into $1 million cash retirement fund. And I can do that with the money that you would have paid to the bank. Now, it's also important to understand that this does not include your equity. And I can do it the exact same payment that every other realtor and lender will have you spend. My clients and referral partners branded me as the Dave Ramsey of realtors and lenders. Now, that's what message consistency and the right message can create for your business: value branding. So here's my question for you: do you have a value brand in your business right now? So how do you build a brand? So how do you build a brand? More importantly, a value brand. There's a difference where your entire brand is built on the benefits that you can deliver for your clients. Lead conversion is where we start, and that's really the first leg of the marketing or branding stool. Here's why. Ask yourself this: what's more important to you, the number of leads that you have or the number of closings you get from those leads? Does more leads equal more closings? It doesn't, but it does create a lot more work and a lot more expense for you. Here's an example. If you have a database of 10,000 leads and none of those resulted in a closing, is your new strategy to now go out and get 20,000 leads? Or should you consider focusing on turning the leads you do have that you spent time and money on already and turn them into closings? More importantly, how will you accomplish that? Again, totally your decision. You're completely in control of your business. Now, in marketing, you always start with the end goal in mind, which is conversion. What if you create a strategy that resulted in the highest conversion rates in the industry, then created your advertising and marketing built around your conversion strategy? And if you really create an amazing strategy, you can build an entire referral system around it. Would you define that as a successful marketing campaign and a foundation for your business? That's what I've done. And now I share it with agents across the country. If they need help with it, I'm available. I've used this value proposition as the basis for all of our buyer and seller presentations, our advertising and lead capture, our open house conversion strategy, and most importantly, our referral strategy. Done properly, you can create an entire network of people referring business to you year after year. Having one central marketing message allows you to create the most important mission of your marketing: brand consistency. Now, I created this strategy almost 30 years ago, and it's even more effective 30 years later with all the uncertainties and difficulties in buying a home and in today's economy. People are hurting financially, and I'm on a mission to train an army of agents and lenders to impact the financial future for tens of thousands of people who've never been shown the right way. Now, my number one business principle is very simple. I call it the red zebra strategy. It's about standing out and building a business based on referral and repeat clients. Here's the facts of life and business, folks. You're paid exactly what you're worth. Here's a non real estate example. Who makes the most money? A family doctor or a world renowned brain surgeon? The brain surgeon can solve more serious and critical problems than a family doctor. And they're a rarity, so they get paid more because they deserve more. Expert agents get paid the big bucks. Average agents get paid an average income. Which do you want to be? Totally your decision again. My warning to you would be also, or my advice to you really is probably a better way of saying it, is to stop chasing business. When you can create a value brand and a value strategy, it's the difference between chasing business and attracting business. After today, it's going to be your decision on how you want to get new business. You want to chase or attract? So let's dive into this, right? Because, well, listen, I know all this sounds good, but how do we actually execute that? So I'm going to cover a three-part strategy with you today. The first part, how our conversion process works. Starting with a unique process that your competition does not understand, won't learn, cannot explain, and most importantly, can't compete with you. That's critical to your success. Here's my question for you. Which sign would you rather have in your front yard? At the end of 30 years, which sign do you want in front of your house? Make sure you read those. The blue sign says you had a 6% rate, paid $463,353 in interest on a $400,000 house. The red sign says you had a 1.75 rate and paid $44,053 in interest on the same $400,000 house. Here's good news, folks. Nobody's ever said, I want to know about the blue sign. Question is, how do we execute that? Here's what every other lender and realtor can help you do. They can help you buy a home, get a loan, pay it off in 30 years, right? Every agent can do that. If every agent can do it, are you really the red zebra agent, the one that stands out? Are you commodity just like all the rest? When I talk with somebody, they say, well, you have four options with working with me. At the end of the day, option number one was buy the home, get a loan, paid off in 30 years. All accomplished with the exact same amount of every other lender that you spend every month, right? That's what every real estate agent could do. Who cares? Option two, you could buy a home, pay it off in 7 years, and have $1,072,842 in your retirement account. And I can accomplish that with the exact same amount of money that every other realtor and lender will have you spend every month. Option three, if we could buy one home and pay it off in 7 years, in the same 30-year period that they work with you, I could help them buy 4 homes, pay them all off, live in one of the homes, collect rent on the other 3. So let's say that they're getting $1,500 a month in rent on each house. That's $4,500 per month. How much money would somebody have to save over that 30-year period to be able to take and have a $4,500 a month cash flow without ever touching the principal? And the answer is in excess of $3 million. So my question when I meet with people, say, folks, what are the odds in the next 30 years you're going to save more than $3 million? We call this strategy adult monopoly. Now, the way that I do this, I just go, which option do you like better? And everybody's, when I give them the option for 1 or 2, they go, I like 2 better. Now I go option 3, after I do option 3, which do you like better, 2 or 3? Believe it or not, folks, about half say, no, I still like option 2. I don't ever want to be a landlord. Great. I have one more option for you. Our personal equity banking plan, where you could buy a home, pay it off in about 12 years. It's going to take a little bit longer, because we start to create a tax-free retirement plan with the money that you would have paid to the bank. Let me tell you how this retirement plan works. First of all, it follows Warren Buffett's 3 rules of money. First rule is never lose money. Second rule is never lose money. And the third rule is never lose money. You are guaranteed a rate of return every year on your money. Now, the guarantee is not real sexy. It could be 1, 2, maybe 3%, but you still have all the upside of the market. Pretty cool, right? Now, let's say that you get into a car accident and somebody sues you. In a typical IRA or 401k, they could take and actually get your retirement plan. This option, they can't. Number 3, you could actually borrow money out of the account. They'll actually pay you interest on money that's not out there. They're in their account. So think of it this way. You have a CD at Wells Fargo. You guys, hey guys, I need $10,000 out of that. Are they going to just hand you the money and say, hey, don't worry about it, Bob. We're going to just keep paying you interest on it, even though you got the $10,000? That's never going to happen, is it? With this retirement account, it does. And then finally, and most importantly, if done and structured correctly, you would never pay a penny of income tax on that money. So to give you an example, I have a 35-year-old guy buying a $400,000 house. At age 60, they could start taking out $72,000 per year for the next 42 years and never pay a penny of taxes on it. Have you ever heard of a retirement account like that? Most don't. It's actually a life insurance policy. Now, I'm not going to get into all that today, but what we do is then we go, which option do you like better? If they said 2, we go, do you like 2 or 4 better? If they like 3, we say, to which do you like better, 3 or 4? They always say 4. Folks, over 90% of people say they like option 4 the best. So it's a life insurance policy. Gosh, don't we need life insurance agents that could become referral partners for us? But I'll talk more about that later. Here's the thing, folks. Have you ever heard this before? Compound interest is the 8th wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it. He who doesn't pays. I'm laser focused on eliminating as much compound interest dollars for my clients' real estate debt as I can. But it's imperative that they benefit from the compounding effect from the value of their home. So my business is focused more on the money portion of what they do. So let me give you an example of what that looks like. In order to do that, we have to get a better understanding of somebody's largest debt, their mortgage. And folks, this is stuff they don't teach us in school. This is stuff they don't teach you online, but this is how the money works. So consider these facts. Let's use $400,000 as the average purchase price in a home, that's about what it is right now in the United States. If they borrow the money at 6%, they will pay $463,300. You look at the column all the way on the right-hand side, the $400,000 house is actually going to cost them $863,000. They have to pay the $400,000 back, right? And they're going to pay $463,000 instead in interest. Do you think the bank tells them that? They don't. Do yourself a favor, folks. Do the math on that. That's not 6% interest, is it? That's what compounding interest does. But in this scenario, it's benefiting the bank. What if you could save $402,112 of that $463,353 in total interest that a buyer would pay? Would you be open to a discussion around that? Like how many of you watching right now would be open to a discussion to see how you could actually do that? Here's what I can tell you, folks. What do you think the number of people that ever say no to that is? And the answer is they've never said no to me, and they've never said no to the agents that I've trained on it. So that's the new conversion rate for your leads, your open house visitors, people, etc. Will you make more money with 100% lead conversion rate? The answer is, of course you will. We're done doing some analysis here because it gets even worse. Now, the average person moves every 10 years right now on average, and refinances a little bit over 5 years, 5.4 years. So what happens if you refinance your mortgage in 5 years? Because that's what everybody's telling you to do. Buy the house, date the rate. I'm sure you've all heard that at this point, right? So let's take a look at that loan, that $380,000 loan. They bought a $400,000 house, put 5% down. Started out at 6%, and now rates dropped to 4.5%. So what happens? Their $380,000 loan, their P&I payment was $2,278. Over that 5-year period, 60 months times 2278, they've had $136,698 leave their home. After 5 years, their new balance is $353,606, which means they've paid $26,394 down in principal. I want you to think about this for a minute, folks. They've had $136,698 that they've given to the bank over the last 5 years to reduce their balance by $26,000. But don't worry, good news is here. You're going to have a new payment at 4.5%. It's going to drop from $2,278 to $1,827. You're going to save $451 a month. My God, you're going to save 19.8% in a monthly payment. That's great news, isn't it? There's about $7,000 in closing costs to do that. Here's my question for you. Do you want to pay those in cash or do you want me to roll those into the loan? Folks, 99.999% of the people say, yeah, just roll it into the loan. All right, cool. We got to do some math here. Let's use bankrate.com, Dave Ramsey, Susie Orman. Doesn't matter what you do. So you're going to have to invest $7,000 to lower your payment by $451. Make sense? So I'm going to divide the $451 a month I save by the $7,000, which means I break even in 15.5 months. As long as I stay in that house for another 15 and a half months, I break even. Everybody agree with me on that one? If you don't, go to bankrate.com, Dave Ramsey, Susie Orman. They all have calculators. Do the refinance break-even calculator. That's what the numbers are. Let's actually do the math on that. So you've made payments of $136,600. You have $19,994 in equity after your closing costs. Remember, you paid it down by about $23,000, but now we have to roll the $7,000 back in. So after making payments of $136,680, you've got $19,994 in equity. So that means a net, because we do have to factor in that you've got some equity in that, right? You did pay your principal down. That's $116,600 in net payments you've made over the past 5 years. And we agreed, break even 15.52 months, because we saved the $451, we divided by the $7,000 in cost, right? Everybody agree with that? I know it's a lot of math, but once you understand this, it's pretty powerful. 15 and a half months to break even. No, that's actually wrong. Not only is it wrong, it's dead wrong. It's actually 258.76 months or 21.56 years. Here's my question, folks. Once the bank refinances, you start all over again at 30 years again. Because in order to save the $451, you had to amortize it over 30 years. You only had 25 years left to pay on the loan. So here's what that means. It means $116,686 in payments left your house. Who has that money? You or the bank? The bank does, of course. You got your $19,000 in equity, but we already deducted that in that $116,686 number. Again, I know that's a lot of math, but folks, understanding this concept makes a massive difference. Now, if somebody would have done a 25-year refinance and amortized it then, well, then that payoff would be a whole lot different. The reality is, folks, that's not what 98% of the people do. So why can't we help them? Do you see how, well, I have specialized knowledge, even more than these so-called experts? Because the question I ask our buyers is, when was the last time a realtor, a lender, a CPA, or financial advisor showed you those numbers? I have specialized knowledge. I put hundreds of thousands of dollars into my client's pocket instead of the bank. Do I deserve more money? I mean, think of it this way. What if I started making a percentage of the savings like a financial advisor? I don't do that, but I could. Now, in 2002, I created a 4-step cash flow and debt elimination process. It's called Equity Max. Guys, it's not magic, it's just math. Everything I shared with you is just math. You can go and verify it. You can go and use somebody else's calculator, go to bankrate.com. It doesn't matter, because I had to actually create a process for my clients. So let me give you an example. Here's an actual client of ours. They bought a $230,000 house. I said the house will appreciate at 4%. I always use that number as a historical number. I said it'll appreciate over 30 years. At the end of 30 years, the house would be worth $745,980. Every agent can do that. Big deal. But here's the actual plan that I put in place for my client. They had car loans, student loans, and their mortgage. All I did was show them how I could get all that debt paid off in a little bit more than 11 years. Then take the money that they were making their payments on, which is about $3,000 a month, and start putting that away for the remainder of the 18 years. And I said, all you're going to get is 3% interest. That's all I said. The reality is if they would put it into an S&P 500 index fund, the 60-year average of that is 10.5%, 10.62 to be exact. So I'm being as conservative as I possibly can. So I can help him get his house paid off in 7 or 8, or I'm sorry, in this case, 11 years, because I had to get his car and his student loans paid off, and help him accumulate over $873,000. You think that's a client that was happy with what we did. Because life comes along. 3 years later, he decided to leave Arizona and move to Texas. We ended up selling his house after 3 years for $371,530. Remember I said the 30-year plan was to get $745 for it? Folks, in 3 years, we were halfway there. So again, I'm being conservative. Here's the good news. 3 years later, we sold their house, and he referred us to his brother, who referred us to another person. 3 transactions from them in 3 years. Is that the kind of business you want? Now, what do you think will happen to your business if you started helping clients eliminate, in his case, $310,000 in debt? You help them pay that off in 11.2 years, accumulate $873,608 in cash, and have a free and clear home worth $745,000. What do you think will happen to your business if you started helping clients? The more important question is, will they tell everyone they know about you and what you did for them? See, here's the good news, folks. They're going to go to work the next day. They're going to have the Thanksgiving dinner table or whatever. They're going to be bragging about how they have this plan now to be debt-free. And they're going to be telling everybody about you, because that's really what our goal is. The great news, millions and millions of consumers fall for this every year. With our knowledge, we have the ability to prevent it when you know how to do it. Number 2, let's talk about marketing. We use our value branding to create traditional, social, and digital marketing to generate leads and build our brand. We worked backwards, folks. We said, what's the problem? People are paying more in interest than they have to. We created a solution, and now we create marketing around the solution. So we implement traditional, social, digital advertising and marketing. What does it look like? Let me give you 3 quick examples of how we took our value prop and built marketing around it. We have an ebook that people can download that we use for social media advertising and an online class, how to use government rebate to pay off your home in 10 years or less. Now, we market it in Facebook custom audience ads, lead ads. We also do a bi-weekly or a monthly seminar on how to use a government rebate to pay off your home in 10 years or less. And then we've used it to build a referral partner network that generates new business every year after year. Let's face it, the highest converting lead is a referral, right? Just these 3 lead triggers alone will actually do the selling, the teaching for us, which results in a 12 times higher conversion rate. If somebody downloads our ebook or they attend one of our classes, folks, that material did the selling for us. They're already pre-sold. Now, notice that we started the marketing with the conversion in mind, and then we created the marketing around it. What if you don't have the cash flow for ads? No problem. Could you create 2 flyers for each of these and then direct them to a lead capture page for download, put it on your social media, or have them register on Zoom to collect their info, or pass them out to open house visitors? Folks, all that's at no cost. And getting referrals from a partner network costs nothing, does it? Here's another huge benefit for our agents. I got tired of agents being screwed around by ad agencies. So we literally started our own ad agency so that we could direct our marketing to the audiences that we wanted. And so we can create a series of ads that we're in control of, and we can do it a lot less expensively than these ad agencies who are taking advantage of our agents, right? So we use lead trigger ads like that ebook. Right? You do a Facebook custom audience ad, you spend $1, $2, $3 a day, maybe. And then when they download this book, what did we do? We just got them to raise their hands. And then we let the material sort out the serious from the just looking. How do we do that? Because we're teaching them. The next piece that's free. This is a picture of what we pass out at at an open house. We give this to people. Now, what we've started doing lately is we actually turn it into a QR code and we have them scan it so we get their phone numbers to do that. Right? So notice those four options. It allows us to talk to people at an open house differently than what every other agent does. We actually have an analysis, an equity max analysis on that particular listing available at that house. Now we have a bound copy that we keep, but we also have a copy that we attach to a QR code so that we have people take a picture of the QR code and download it. And that's how we get their information. We're not saying, oh, the seller requires me to have you sign in. We also do the government rebate webinar. Our agents choose whether they want to do it monthly or bi-monthly. I personally would recommend doing it bi-monthly. It's a way to have that open house traffic, for example. We have a flyer for that. Hey, by the way, we're doing a class on Thursday to show you how to get a government rebate to pay your home off in 7 to 10 years. Is that something that you'd want to learn how to do? Folks, everybody says yes to it. And so we have a Zoom webinar that we do that's live. We have an entire social media library that can be used for posting, advertising, or even direct mail postcards or door hangers. So there's no shortage of marketing that we can do. Now, let's talk about our third strategy, referrals. Let's start here. Here's how most agents are trained to ask for referrals. Hey, folks, do you know anyone looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate? I've seen others where they ask, who's the real estate agents you refer your friends and family to? How can I become one of those agents? Here's what I'd ask you. Have those been effective for you? Because they're generally not. Here's how we ask. Who do you know that would like to be 100% debt-free in the next 7 to 12 years? Almost everyone, right? See, when you ask, who do you know that's thinking about buying, selling, or investing? They don't know people. It's not a subject that comes up. Heck, I could ask real estate agents and they go, I don't have anybody. Otherwise, they'd be making money. They don't know that. So when I ask, who do you know that would like to be 100% debt-free in the next 7 to 12 years? It's probably everybody that they know. We ask them to take and put a list together for us. And then we call, text, and email invitations to them to our government rebate virtual event. What about inviting your current database, your open house visitors, and any lead generation that you've done or people in your database? Would that give these people huge motivation to listen and hire you? Folks, I can tell you from absolute experience that the answer is hell yeah, they do. How do we start each year out with people to talk with? So one of the things is, I'll just tell you guys, in November and December, the market slows down because agents stop working. What if you could take and spend November and December and set yourself up with dozens and dozens of people to talk to in the new year? The way that we do that is we do an annual debt and cash flow review so we go in, hey folks, how did it go this year? What's going on? Do we need to revise your plan? Great. Hey, do you know anybody else who would like to be debt free? Yes, I do. Great. Could you write them down? And by the way, could you just do me a favor? Could you text them and let them know I'm going to be calling? I'm not trying to sell them anything. I'm going to provide this for them for free. Let's see what we can do to analyze cash flow, see how fast we could get them out of debt. I'm just simply going to call them. Folks, I used to start the new year out with 100 people to call. And I did wait until after the holidays. Hey, you know what? I was referred to by so, and I just wanted to reach out after the holidays. I didn't want to bother you during then. But they had suggested that you might be interested in a way that you could completely pay off all your debts, car, credit card, student loans, house, in the next 7 to 12 years. Is that something you would be open to? Folks, we got all kinds of people. Now, what are we really looking for? Yeah, I'd be interested in doing that, but I'm going to be selling in the next 6 months. I just got relocated or whatever it is. In the meantime, folks, if they don't, guess what? You're building your database of people that know and trust you because you have specialized skills. Make sense? So now we could spend November and December starting to fill our pipeline for January, February, and March. Are you familiar with the law of reciprocity? Have you ever heard of this? When you give, you get. The secret to getting referrals is to give them. It's that simple. So what if you used our value proposition, helping our clients providing even more value, and use it as another free marketing system to generate referrals for a network of referral partners? What would happen to your business? Just think about this. If you had a network of people sending you 1 or 2 referrals every year, how big would you want your network to be? 50, 100, 200? Well, it's up to you. You're the CEO of your business, right? Now, we have an entire leg of our business dedicated completely to this. It's the referral strategy for agents that hate cold calling. So let me give you a real quick overview. I'm not going to get into the weeds, but I want to give you a quick overview. We want to start with a network of financial professionals, people like lenders, CPAs, life insurance agents, right? Folks, if 90% of the people say, I want option four, don't you have to have an insurance agent to do that? It's the single largest referral base that I can help you build, because I promise there are thousands and thousands of life insurance agents, and you can help solve their number one problem. People don't want to buy life insurance or they can't afford it. We can help them with that. What about financial advisors, title and closing providers, 1031 exchange services? What if you built a network of household service providers, painters, carpet cleaners, electricians, moving companies, AC providers, heat and AC providers, plumbers, landscapers, right? Everybody's always asking us for them anyway. And then, what if we would leverage social media to build a social media referral network for not only all of our vendors, but for their clients, their databases, and we could drive traffic to that to help people save money. What are people more interested in right now? Just ask yourself this. Is it buying or selling their home or saving money? What if we could help them do that? Do we deserve more money? Because we certainly provide a lot more value than your average real estate agent, don't we? So there's a lot more detail in that, but I wanted to give you the 50,000-foot view of building a referral network. So let's wrap this up. What's next? Did this make sense to you? Yes, I know it's a lot of information, but you can go to my website, www.bobmangold.com, and you can watch this over and over again. Or your other option is you can take and scan that QR code, or you can go to brainstormwithbob.com and you could schedule a free coaching session and see if it would make sense for you to implement that. See if this is something that would fit into your existing business. So there's no charge for that. I'm not trying to sell or anything like that. If you would want to help, you think this would help you build your business, then scan the QR code or go to brainstormwithbob.com and schedule an appointment. It's that simple, folks. It's all there is to it. I wanted to give the opportunity to understand it conceptually, but maybe you need a little help understanding how you would implement that into your business. And I'm happy to help do that. So I hope all this helped. I hope it gave you some things to think about. And if you think that this would help you, I look forward to talking to you. Thanks for listening. Have an amazing day.